Hey you guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be giving you guys our album review of Afterburner by Kryptos. So after 1 week of listening to this album non-stop, Vile, what are your thoughts?
Listened to this album non-stop all week long, many listens, and I'm a little conflicted because this is one of those albums that's very good on the surface. You can listen to it and it sounds great, I'm jamming to it, I'm grooving to it, I'm having a great time, but as soon as you start trying to dive into this album a little bit, you start trying to find things that, you know, are standout-ish or things that, you know, grab your attention, and me personally was a little hard-pressed. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing because the album from front to end is still pretty enjoyable. But when it comes to, you know, listening to music and finding songs or elements of songs that really speak to you, this album really didn't have a lot to offer. As far as individual songs, I would say song number 5, On the Run, is my favorite track. Most notably because of the solo. I think that's the highlight of the album. It's really good. But as far as the whole song itself and the structure of the song and just how it compares to the rest of the album, it all kind of has the same feeling. Again, it's a bad thing in a sense because it just kind of blends in, but it's good in the sense that it does sound good. You know, it gets a little monotonous, gets a little repetitive, which is why this is probably best for kind of background listens when you're in the middle of doing something, whatever you might, a hobby or whatever, working out. This is the kind of thing where you throw it on and you just don't really pay much mind to it. It's just music there to just fill that empty space for you.
Yeah, honestly, I have similar feelings after 1 week. This album is fantastic for the background. Honestly, if you're doing anything, if you're busy with something, this is so great to put on, but it lacks a lot of depth to the music, which if you're gonna, you know, try to be entertained by the album itself, this might not be the best one to put on because it's very surface level, if that makes sense. It's very, what you hear is pretty much what you get. There's not much to really expand upon within the tracks. Not to say I didn't like it. It was still enjoyable. This wasn't an album where I got tired and bored and said, oh, I don't want to listen to this anymore. I was still having fun with it. I just stalled out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it just felt that, okay, I've heard everything I really need to hear. There's nothing much that's grabbing me as much, but it's not like I didn't like it. In terms of if there's anything I really like, honestly, you know, I said I think Crimson Queen might have been one of my absolute favorites, which was still a really cool song, but things kind of started to blend together, and I'm just like, oh, it's the one that has that, you know, riff to it. It's the one that has that little part.
Yep.
Oh, that's what that one was. So a lot of songs kind of lost some personality to me. Yeah. And just kind of get to a little basic level of, oh yeah, that's what this one is. So nothing really started jumping out at me that much throughout the week.
Yeah, I think another thing that hurts it a little bit is the length of the album. It's just under 40 minutes, I believe. Yeah. And an album that short, once you've listened to it 2-3 times in a row, you know, if you have a session to listen to music, I was listening to this album 2, 3, 4 times in a row sometimes, and I'm just like, wow, this is, it gets a little repetitive because A, it's short, and B, the riffs in the songs are repetitive. It's a very monotonous feeling album, whereas, you know, they just play the same riffs over and over again in each song. Cool riffs, I get down with the riffs, you know, I love the riffs, especially in Afterburner, which is the title track. That's the song that, you know, we listen to the single and we're like, whoa, let's check this album out because we like this song. I still like that song. I think it's a very close second as far as my personal favorites go, because of the riff. It's so catchy, it's so just, I don't know, it's just so thrashy and I just love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the length of the album is really a hurtful stain as far as I'm concerned.
I feel after, the title track is probably among songs that didn't stale out as hard as others.
Yeah.
On the Run was kind of fading on me, same with Mach Speed Running. I don't know, it just kind of felt monotonous when I was listening to those. But Into the Wind, I was starting to appreciate a little bit more because I know we said, you know, last week it's a bit long and it's just kind of nothing. It just kind of got slightly better for me. But yeah, you know, with an album this short, and especially with the music the way it is kind of tough to just have on loop. It gets to the point where you're like, okay, next.
Yeah, come to think of it though, would they really have benefited from elongating the album at all? unless they had, you know, maybe a slightly more progressive element to the music to the point where it didn't sound so, I'm gonna use the word again, monotonous or so similar throughout.
Yeah.
And they had some different elements there to kind of expand on what they already have, but keep that core there still at the same time.
Yeah, like imagine if, you know, you had this album as it was and then add 3 songs that were pretty much the same thing as the rest. Would it really help the album?
No.
The length would be longer, but there wouldn't be, like, it would still be the same. Honestly, it might even make the album worse because it would just feel like the album's dragging.
That's possible too.
So
yeah.
the album being this short kind of works for just the way the music is.
Right.
But it is very short, 39 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as like bad things to say though, like there's nothing really bad. Like it's pretty good musicianship. It's very standard and very basic, but it's solid, right? These guys are a solid type band. I like the vocals. They're, I mean, I guess it's still average, but you know, there's nothing super standoutish about them, but they work with what the music is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people that want progressive elements in their music or just want like lots of content in their music might not enjoy this album because it is very simplistic.
Yeah, like we said, unless you want to throw something on in the background and just like catch cool riffs and cool grooves, you know, sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good safe thing to put on once again as like a kind of background music thing.
Yeah. But let's get to ratings. So TV Fish, what do you give it?
All right, well, because this album, I can't say, like, similar to you, I can't say really bad things about it. I didn't really love it, but there was still, like, I found a little bit of enjoyment in it. So for me, this one's getting a 5.5. Really middle of the pack, because I can't really talk too highly or too lowly of it, but there were still some enjoyment factors, so that's
Cool.
my rating.
That's a good point you made there about not being able to talk too highly or too lowly. It is a very middle of the pack album. But I tended to enjoy it more than not enjoy it. I never really found that when I was listening to it, even repeat listens, that I was disliking it. It just gets a little bit tiresome, which I think anything will if you listen to it too much. So that's just a detriment to our testing and how we review albums. But there are highlights. There's a couple songs I'm gonna add to my playlist. So these guys are gonna be something that I listen to frequently as they come on my playlist. And yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 6. I think I'm gonna give it a 6, slightly higher than yours. I don't like giving 0.5s too much of my scores, but hey, that's irregardless of anything. So 6 for me, 5.5 from TV Fish, but we wanna know what you guys think of this album after you've been listening to it for a week like us, and leave your comments below and let us know what you guys think. But yeah, I think that's it.
Hey guys, remember to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Vile Self.
And we'll see you guys later.